Welcome to the Epic Show!
Warning. You're about to embark on an adventure of epic proportions. Buckle up, bucko. You're now tuned in to the Epic Show. With your hosts, Gabe and Dave. Coming to you live from the Epic Center.
Welcome
to the Epic Show.
17 of the Epic Show. Live, straight from the void.
Yeah, I did. I'm not sure what time you woke up today, but I know it was late.
I know there was no sunlight.
Yep, I woke up, zero sun, and all the fun.
Well, I don't know what it is about us going to our friend's Chris' house where we just like end up having 3 a.m. convos.
Well, y'all saw his couch last episode.
Yeah, so
That
big
couch,
beanie chair.
along with the mix of the brain systems that are going on in there, is just endless conversation, endless argument, endless theory crafting.
I woke up. I think we got home. I got home at like 9:30 a.m. after we ate breakfast. And when I woke up at like who knows what, dinner time, and I set an alarm. Like I set multiple alarms.
Yeah.
And I'd slept through all of them.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like half asleep, and it was like beeping right next to me.
Mhm.
And I grabbed my Roku remote, and I was like trying to turn down the volume on the TV.
No, you weren't.
And I was like, why won't it stop? Like, I remember doing that like 5 times, like being half asleep, and I was just like,
It's not working. It's not working.
I hate Roku. It doesn't work. But
I woke up at 6:30 and I woke up and I was like, oh God, I have to film the Epic Show tonight.
yup. And now it's 11 p.m.
No, it's we had
Getting
about
started with the day.
whoops. My phone's accidentally connected to the my phone is connected to the Roadcaster, so
Foreshadowing.
I'll have to. I'm gonna be playing some videos tonight for y'all to listen to, but
Hopefully a couple calls as well.
a couple calls. But yeah, I accidentally hit play whenever I was checking the time. So my bad, listeners.
One thing we talked about last night was like KJ brought up like if your dog you're just sitting with your dog, and then if he turns, it was like a tweet, but it's like if your dog just randomly stands up on his hind legs, it's like no one will ever believe you.
I was just like,
and we were like looking at our cat Roots and be like, what if she just in this voice she stands up like levitating, and she's like,
No one will ever believe you. And then just like,
floating through the air,
like flies out
just
the window,
screaming it like all throughout your house. And
crashes through the window.
I'd be so angry because no one would ever believe me.
No.
Like, and she's so right about it. Like,
Even if you filmed it, they'd be like, dang, those guys are really good VFX artists.
editors, we'd probably have like movies reach out to us and be like, "Come
Yeah.
on, guys, get down here into the studio." We show up and we're like
It's like,
babbling buffoons on the camera.
it's me, Dr. Elliot Marvel. I'm here to hire you as a new VFX artist. I'm like, dude.
We're the Shield editors.
But yeah, you told me the other night that you got recognized for the Epic Show.
Shout out to the 6'8" guy at the Battery. He came up to me and he was like, "Dude, I know you from somewhere." He was like, and usually I'm like, "Oh, it's probably the dark humor stuff."
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're the guy that drafts things." And I was like, "Hell yeah, dude, what's up?" And he had a really attractive girlfriend, and he was
As they
6'8", and I was just thinking the whole time, I was like, what an average Epic Show listener.
That's what I thought. I was like, that's exactly what an Epic Show listener would be. Just having a super model girlfriend, being 6'8".
Being 6'8", having cowboy boots on, and he had a Carhartt shirt on, which is I always wear Carhartt shirts. I'm like, oh, you got that from me, huh?
They actually, if you Google, like, if you like the AI app and you're like average Epic Show listener, It's just like the Chad image.
It's
pops
him.
up.
Yeah. And he
Yeah.
had blue eyes. He was blonde hair. He's kind of jacked. I was like, dude.
I'm not even surprised.
Yeah. No, I was like, you're kind of on the ugly side of him.
Most of them are like 7'1" and like jacked.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we have NBA listeners.
Yeah. And there's actually some projections that came in. Like we have like analytics.
Yeah.
And it says like in the analytics, like average Epic Show listener projected to be millionaire by 28.
Yep.
So
And,
that was one of them.
and those are the numbers. So
That's just the facts.
it's the numbers and the projections and the graphs. You
Yeah.
can't really argue with those, right?
No, because if it's on
It's on paper.
Microsoft, any Microsoft app, then it's true.
Yeah.
So
I believe that.
we're not projected to be the millionaires
No.
by
no,
any
no.
time. We actually lose money, but
We were actually supposed to get in crippling debt for this. But that was what a palm reader. That was what a palm reader told us. We don't believe in the numbers. We don't crunch our own numbers.
we only believe in the palm.
Yeah.
But speaking of the fans, there's a shout out to this guy. I don't want to name names, but we appreciate you. But he leaves this very specific comment, and he's been leaving this comment for 2 months now.
It's strange. It was like he was like our first fan or something.
Yeah, I think he was one of the first like fans that we don't know.
He comments in one of the episodes, could you guys cut the cheese for a really, really long time until it gets really stinky in there?
Yeah,
Right?
He was like, I would like one of you to cut the cheese on the podcast until it stinks really, really bad. 2 reallys.
And
Each word is capitalized as well.
yeah.
And he left it. This was the same. The first episode was episode 4.
Okay.
So that's 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And he left it again. He's like, on the next episode you film, I would like one of you to cut the cheese in the podcast until it stinks really, really bad.
And he's commented on like every episode, right?
Almost every episode. And I replied to it and I was like, it already smells horrendous in the room, but that would be hilarious. And I guess I never really felt, follow through with that
Yeah.
request. But what he left on the last episode, and I was like, okay, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I gotta like, you click on his profile, right? And right here,
What shows
there's
up?
nothing. This channel doesn't have any content.
Yeah.
However, when you hit playlist, that's where the content arises.
Okay.
And if you look over here, podcast videos, number 6, real farts. Podcast video, number 5, real
What?
farts. Podcast, number 4, real farts. Real farts. Real farts.
Shut up.
With like multiple videos.
These are all
It's just fartings on podcasts.
people. What? He has like a database of
It's the
podcast
playlist.
farts?
Like if you like farts, I would definitely check out his channel. And
How
you'll
many
find-
videos does he have?
Well, these are just like playlists of videos he's throwing in these playlists. It's like, okay, they farted on this episode.
Videos 51 through 100.
Yeah, like because
He's
some
got
of
like
these,
800 videos of this.
because like some of these are like friends and family videos, prank farts.
Prank farts? This
last,
is a sick fetish.
last to leave 24-hour challenge, real farts.
What? Did you
Like-
make this account or something?
No, I swear I didn't.
There's no way this is
And
real.
There's some. I
He has
was
a
like looked on.
Farting fetish.
I looked on some of these like episodes.
Did you watch the videos?
No. Well,
Okay.
no, but this is one podcast has like 70 subscribers. Episode 50. The only comment is him. He says, "Sometime in the upcoming episodes, I would like one of you to eat bean burritos, beans for breakfast, so one of you could cut the cheese in the podcast, and so it stinks really, really bad."
What the fuck?
And they
What'd they
replied,
say?
and he's like, "You got it, champ. We're on a strict bean diet, so we can have some stinkers for you."
Oh, God.
And then he's like, "Sounds good."
Okay.
And then there's another one.
Wait, can we watch it?
Well, I'm not watching a hour-long episode.
Oh,
It's like a full.
I thought he made the clip of it.
No, he doesn't edit anything. He just like puts the videos
Oh,
into like
that there are farts containing.
right. And there's another one of podcasts like 30 subscribers, just for like random guys like us. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't know how
He
found
probably
us,
just
but
like looks up new podcasts,
I guess so.
and then we showed up. What do you say on this one? I like hearing farts on the podcast. So keep cutting the cheese. Quotation, fart on the podcast until it stinks really, really bad. Dude, it really alarms me that this guy's walking among us and using the same servers that we are.
Dude,
that is the strangest shit I've.
All power to this guy. I respect it. I respect the hustle,
bro,
and I respect the grind.
There's nothing respectful about any of this. That you're alone on that island, bro. This is like shocking. Are these recent?
I mean, some of these, yeah. I don't see any comments here. There's some like where a comment of his is like in here.
He probably. I wonder what his day job is.
He just wants to hear.
It's like an IT guy. Like, wow, that is okay.
Yeah, so shout out to you.
Shout out him.
Put you on blast, but appreciate your comments. We can't promise that we will.
We're not gonna be. I'm not gonna end up on your channel.
But
bro.
If it does happen, hey,
listen,
you got it. We won't cut it out for you.
Yeah,
it'll be here.
It'll be for you, bro.
So we appreciate you, and we love you.
God, yeah, that's just a very.
Well, actually, okay. if you're listening, I would recommend that you check out Gabe's OnlyFans, because who's to say that you wouldn't find that on there? How's your OnlyFans been?
My OnlyFans that I started this week,
yeah,
has 2 subscribers.
Oh, it has another one.
Mm-hmm.
How much are they paying?
$15 a month.
Okay.
And all I do is post like. I'm actually really lazy with it, but I've only posted 3 jokes on there. It's not like if you pay $15, you're just gonna see me plop my sack on the front page, you know.
Well, that's
like,
what people want.
I know that's what people want. It's what 2 people at least want. The first subscriber that I got, his name was Witness the Bigness, and I would like to think that he made that account just to witness my bigness.
Well, you would think like he's the bigness, and he's like, "Hey, witness me." But it seems like
he's witnessing mine,
hoping to witness other big.
Yeah, it seems like it. And my thing was like on the front page, it's jokes, and then I was like, DM me for requests. I opened that door,
right?
So like, maybe if you wanted to see me like tell a joke with a shirt off or something, like, yeah. And you paid me like $50,
right?
Like, okay, yeah.
Like a personalized.
Yeah, it's basically like a cameo.
Yeah,
you know, I would just do it like a cameo, like. Or whatever, but thanks for my 2 subscribers. I'm sure you guys.
Shout out you guys.
I'm sure you guys care about the things that I'm going through mentally and in my life, and you're not just have a big man fetish.
Well, are you hoping to deliver in that department, or are you just gonna?
I'll deliver. Jokes? I'll deliver in any department you need,
including ripping huge farts.
Yeah, not that one. If he really wants that, if that listener really wants it, he can hit me up on my OnlyFans, and he wants me to cut the cheese, bro.
So it seems really bad.
I'll chef it up.
Sure thing.
God, that's disgusting.
So yeah, make sure you check out the Epic Show / Gabe OnlyFans.
I think I'm just about to cancel it and just do the subscription thing on Instagram for like $5 a month, and then just post like the jokes that I can't post on there, like on the front page. Yeah, I won't make it $15 a month or anything like that. But.
Well, in other news this week, we did some. You went on a rampage.
Oh yeah, I went on a rampage,
calls.
And they didn't. So the jig's up, guys. If you listen to the if you're our friend and you're in the bro code and you listen to the Epic Show podcast, I did some prank calling, and I blamed it on KJ. Well, the blame just found itself on KJ.
Yeah, it was just like it came to him and you didn't deny it.
Yeah, and it was me and Chris were kind of masterminding the whole thing around it, but everyone was like, getting mad at KJ on the Discord and was like, KJ, I know it's you. You used to do this in college. Like, who has the time for this?
no
Like,
one else has
you're
the time
calling
but you.
everyone 10 times. Like,
What if they just like kicked him out and they're just like, dude, like you need to grow up. Like
I would stand up for him. Jesus.
you just like, ooh.
I'm not. I would go down with him. That's not
But
gonna happen.
this was the same app that I used on Gabe like 3 years ago.
Yep. And now I was like, I have access to a bunch of new phone numbers.
What
with some
better way
impressionable minds.
What better way to use
What better
that
way
knowledge?
to? Yeah, and just thought that I'd prank call some of my friends. So this first one, I believe, is either Millsy or Jiggy. So you ready? You ready to give it a listen?
Yeah.
Hello?
This is Millsy.
Yeah.
Who is this, dude?
Yeah, hello. Is this Nick?
Maybe. Who is this?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I want to know who this is right now.
Why?
Let me ask you a question. Why are you calling my girlfriend in the middle of the night?
What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah,
It's like
you're
getting in his
listed her
car.
Contacts under Angel Eyes.
Nigga, I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't know who the fuck your girlfriend is.
Stop
Stop
yapping
calling me.
and listen.
That's the funniest part.
You think it's okay to send pics to my girlfriend with your
Well, I don't
goofy
think-
brown eyes? Don't make excuses.
That's when he
boy.
gets in his
Yeah,
car.
that's when he gets in his car. So
He like the
he
audio
was
messed up.
screaming. He was screaming, but the audio messed up, and I think it would have been the best call. But unfortunately, he was probably leaving the girl's house. Realistically.
He's like, is this the guy the girlfriend I was just with? Or
Yeah,
what?
right. He was probably getting in his car running. Like he's like, all right, bro, I gotta get out of here.
It seemed like this is like the third or fourth time he's been called because like the way he answered,
Bro,
was
I
like,
called him about 8 times. Easily.
this is the first time he
I
answered.
spammed
or-
him so hard. Yeah, it was the first time I answered.
Don't you have to like pay for each call?
I paid about $22 in all to set up this whole situation. I was like, it's gonna be so worth it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so worth it. And it was. It was a
And
lot
you're
of fun.
just sitting there like
I'm
in
just
your
laying on my
at, like
bed
3 a.m.
naked,
like
like
this is epic.
spamming people, like and like giving people heart attacks. And then this next one's Jiggy,
Okay.
a known girl getter.
A no playboy around
Yeah.
the town.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Is this Jalen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know who this is right now. Let me ask you a question. Why are you calling
He's like-
my girlfriend in the
Oh my
middle of the night?
I don't even know who your girlfriend is, bro. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
And then he hung up.
Hangs up.
Dude, my thing is like, whenever I got called by this app, dude, I was like, oh shit. I was like, dude, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. I like freaked out, you know? And I guess that's like a part of like fight or flight or something like that, where like people will be like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And they get tight and
Yeah.
like they get mad too. And then they like hang up or something like that. But like, I genuinely wanted to explain myself. I was like, I don't know what's going on, man. I didn't do any of this. And then it seems like Millsy and Jiggy were ready to fight the guy. You know? Like,
Yeah. I think if this happened to me and I didn't know about this app, I would like know like, okay, obviously I didn't do this. Like I'm just gonna play along or something. Like,
yeah, but a guy's
don't
so
know.
angry on the other line at you. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
calm down. But he's not listening to reason. He's just got his own script because he's
I
a
don't
robot.
know what like the best response to this would even be.
Nah,
Like-
neither do I.
Just be like, okay, well, we can talk about this and
Yeah.
trying to like reason with them. And they're just like, stop yapping and listen.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's like,
Okay, sir.
Yeah. But you should do this to like someone who's like really like kind and sophisticated.
Yeah,
Like,
right. A nice guy. And then this is Simba.
This is a
This is
different
Simba.
one.
Yeah. This is a different one. This is about
Different
someone
preset.
hitting his car, and Simba has a really
Oh,
nice
yeah.
car.
Yeah. And
And,
quick reminder of this app. It's like, if you didn't watch the previous episode, it's like pre-recorded like sayings, and it just kind of, it's
yeah,
not a
it
real,
just says things like it has a script.
yeah, it's just
And you
scripted,
can like type in someone's name or
Yeah.
like the color of their car. Like
Yeah.
that's what. But they didn't
called
have
Pranked
they
Out.
didn't have his real name. I don't want to say his real name on the podcast,
Yeah,
but
no.
I said something close to it. So, but here is Simba.
Hello.
Hello?
Who's
Yeah, hey, this.
Huh.
this? Who?
So you the one who hit my car?
I didn't hit your car.
Well, you left your phone number on my
Didn't hit your
windshield.
car.
This is the wrong number.
Yeah, let me guess. You drive a black car?
He's like,
I didn't leave any phone number.
Listen, B, you scratched the side of my car. There's black paint all over it.
I don't have my car doesn't have black paint.
Is this
Yo,
like
don't
3
lie
a.m. or
to
something?
yeah.
I'm not lying. You got the wrong number.
You got Allstate, right?
Rat.
I do not.
Let me give him a call then.
Let me give him a call.
Something?
And he hung up whenever.
He sounded like it was so tired. He was like,
Yeah, he was probably just in bed, like, you have the wrong number.
and you're listening on the other line, just like,
I tried.
so epic.
As soon as it said, "Are you stupid or something?" he hung up. So. But the joke's out, guys. It was me the whole time.
I don't-
Sorry.
on the podcast last week, on the Bro Code podcast, like KJ's like, it's somebody in this room.
Oh yeah,
Like-
and I was just like,
I didn't even know you did this at the time because
yeah, David didn't.
somebody
know.
was like, it's probably David, and I was like, no, that's something I would do.
Yeah. There was just a lot of. I love how I didn't get questioned once.
Yeah,
Like I never got questioned one time about this. And
it's just
the perfect crime, really.
Among Us in real life.
It was Among Us. And like whenever we were on stream and I was calling everyone on stream and they were like freaking out,
Yeah.
like they were like, "Who's doing it? Someone watching the stream. It's someone watching the stream." And I was like, "Can we just play Among Us, guys?" And then
Come on,
KJ was
guys.
like, "We're already playing Among Us."
This is Among Us
Yeah,
right here.
That's what he said. It was so funny.
Should we try to?
I want to
somebody
get
in?
KJ. I want to get KJ one last time, and
I think so,
then
too.
give him a real call
Yeah, and be like, dude, like somebody.
and be like, "Dude, were you prank calling us? Like,
You,
stop.
like, you-
Be like,
we should
stop doing it, dude."
We should like be like, dude, like it's not even funny anymore.
Yes. Exactly. Okay. Let's dial up a new one. We're gonna do the credit card fraud
Okay.
company.
Is that what I think are they streaming? They might be.
Oh, I hope so.
So
That'd be funny. And then I can customize the prank. I can speak with Kenneth. They were like, there's a strange charge from the, and then I get to pick what it is. And I get to pick sex palace, a bar, a brothel, gentleman's club, liquor store, nightclub, erotic toy store, senior frogs. Yeah, let's do
something that he would do.
a brothel.
Okay.
And let's hope he stays on the call to hear this long enough. Send it to voicemail.
Dang.
Let's do it one more time.
You just spam him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna spam him honestly. Well, KJ didn't seem to answer the phone.
We also gave it away that he was you.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's kind of gave it away that it was myself, but
You're just a couple of guys with too much time in their hands. And
yeah, that's what everyone's main question was. It was like, who really has the time
just
to do this?
unload pranks at such a high volume.
Just prank wheelhouse. Dude, I'm just like hitting nukes. It's like batting practice.
With,
People
like
are just
automatic
throwing me
like,
balls.
ball thrower, like
Prank. Let's talk about something that felt like a prank on my youth. And it was the time I turned 16 and my mom was like, I had terrible grades. So my mom was like, you know what, Gabe? It's time that you get used to working.
because
Because you're going to be doing a lot of it in your real life.
you need to get a head start.
You need to get a head start on the workforce. So she was like, Jimmy John's is hiring. And at the time, I was in wrestling and doing Jimmy John's at the same time. So it was a very strange
You were
work
tacking on mass
life
though, right?
balance. Huh?
Jimmy John's just helps you tack on the mass that you needed.
Yeah, exactly. I would go there and I would fuel myself. And but the issue with that was the whole shtick of Jimmy John's is being freaky fast,
Yeah.
which I was not. I was easily the slowest guy in the building.
Didn't you get last place at the annual Jimmy John's race?
If I had even been invited to that, I would have gotten lost. Like, they didn't even let me make the sandwiches.
What did you do, like cashier?
I was the cashier, and at the time I had I was taking 2 math classes and I was failing both of them
Why were you taking 2 of them?
because I was in junior math and senior math, or I was in sophomore math and junior math at the same time because I failed like all of them.
Oh, okay. So you were in the current math and the one you failed.
And the one I failed,
Okay.
which doesnn't seem legal.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right.
But I was working at Jimmy John's, and as a high schooler, I like to smoke a little pot.
Yeah.
And what I soon came to find out was so did all the 30-year-olds who worked at Jimmy John's.
Okay.
And I worked with this one guy who still works there today. And he was like, dude, whenever I was your age, I didn't have a job. I had already dropped out of school. And for my 8th, 17th birthday, whatever, me and my friends took me down to Disney World and they gave me an entire sheet of acid,
What?
which is like a serving
Is he
size is
alive?
1. A serving size is 1. And he took about 10 tabs, which is just absolutely.
And you're like, I guess I'm going to be like this guy.
He said, yeah, right. I was like, this guy seems cool. He's chill. I don't know.
I guess so chill.
And he was like, yeah, I went to Disney World and it was a cartoon the whole time. Like he said that everything he saw was like melting, like dripping. He was on acid the whole time. So he felt
That's
like he
crazy
was
place.
in a huge cartoon.
Yeah.
But the high actually ended up lasting like 6 months or something like that. And he was like just kind of a vegetable after that, pretty much. And like sometimes he would like have to stop working because a retrip would happen or a retrip would occur where like sometimes if you crack your back, all like the active ingredient in acid, like it stores itself in your spine. It stores itself in your spine. And if you crack your back, sometimes it can almost set you back into a trip for like a couple of minutes. And he would just sit there and be like,
Just crack his back.
like
Whoa.
30 years old.
Jeez.
And but he smoked a lot of weed, and he was like, it was a whatever night in the store. Like it wasn't busy, like no one was coming in. And then him and his 2 other friends who were also like 30 years old, who were a couple and they worked there together, were like, Gabe, come in the back, I want to show you something. So I walk, and then they're all in the freezer.
Roll of acid.
They're all in the freezer, and they're like, hit this. And they were all
Circling you?
smoking weed in the freezer of this sandwich place. And I was like, I'm already not good at this job. And you're about to see me high at this job. And I smoked. And I had one of the worst experiences ever because a dinner rush came in right after we were done. And I was like frozen, like, dude, me trying to pull change out of that. I probably lost them like $50 in change that day because I was so off with the calculations. And they didn't have drops or anything like eye drops. So I just looked baked as fuck, like just serving people food. Like, what do you have today? And then I got home and I was still high. And my mom was like, what the fuck were you doing? And I was like, I was at work. I was at work. And I ended up having to snitch to my mom. Tell them that I smoked in the freezer. And that I was peer pressured into it. And she was like, yeah, right.
She's like, no, you're out of there.
Yeah. She pulled me out of the job and I quit. Like, and I think they texted me and they were like, why'd you quit on us? Like, right when we decided to share with you, la la la. And I was like, okay, dude. Like I've got school in the morning. Like,
Jeez.
but yeah, that was how that ended at Jimmy John's. And then shortly after that, it was the summer after this. And my mom was like, okay,
Round 2.
you smoked weed at your last job. I'm about to put you in the hardest job possible. And I worked at an irrigation company. And I had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. It was 6 days a week in the summer.
Jeez.
And I wouldn't get home until like 6:30 at night.
What even is that job?
It's like installing sprinkler systems. Bro, it was terrible. Oh, it was so bad. And I had to drive to downtown Marietta every day to go and like walk in the building. Like, and we all like met up in the morning, and then I got in the truck with the technician, and we would be on routes all day to go and fix people's, like, troubleshoot and fix their sprinkler systems. And like sometimes we wouldn't even have installed the sprinkler system. We would have to go fix someone else's fuck up.
Yeah.
And they had an issue with me not retaining any of the information that I was supposed to be learning.
A lot of info.
Bro, it was like 45-year-old men like fixing sprinkler systems, and like I was like, I'm not gonna use any of this shit. Like,
meanwhile, they went to Sprinklers U.
They went to Sprinklers freaking U, and they would go home every day and they would drink themselves to sleep. And they would smoke cigarettes every day between every job in the car. It was just cigarette, and like windows up.
Jeez.
And I would fall asleep between every single job. Like some jobs would be like, oh, well, the next job's an hour away. And I'd be like, yes. And I would get in the car and I'd just be like, and they would wake me up sometimes and be like, man, you need to be like asking questions like about this, about what you need to do. Like, they're like, you're the worst helper. You're like, I'm like, yeah, I can barely bend down. Like, I'm huge. And also, I don't want to be here. Like, clearly, this is a summer job. And also, I'm getting paid $8 an hour.
Oh, God.
Dude.
What year was that? Like 2016 or something?
Yeah.
17?
Yeah. 2016. And looking back on that, dude, I would work like 12-hour days. And what's 8 times 12? I'd make like $96 for that entire day.
Just drive into the middle.
Dude, that's it. Bro, I'd be in like Jonesboro, Georgia. I'd be in Jonesboro. I'd be in places like, and then there would be like, we were charging way too high of prices as well. And they would send me up there and tell them the bill.
Do you make you the bad news bearer?
Me the bad news guy. And they would be like, they would look at the bill and be like, $468. Like, I'm like, I'm just the guy who tells you this. Like, I don't know. I don't have a receipt, an itemized receipt or anything, but all I know is this is how much you owe us. And they would like freak out and like call their husbands and stuff. And if the husband was home, he would come out and like spit in my face and stuff. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Are they just scamming people or what? Or is that just like the?
I don't think it's. I'm probably sure. I mean, realistically, I mean everything's a scam, but
yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it wasn't too far away from the fair market value. Yeah. You know. But yeah, that was a terrible job for me. And this is whenever I realized I was like, this working thing is traumatic.
This little, like working to live is
like
not for
it's
me.
Traumatic as fuck.
Yeah.
And like
You've been through a lot of jobs.
I think I've had over 20 jobs or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm 24. Yeah, I've probably had almost a job for every year that I've lived. and then oh dude, I was talking to my friends about this yesterday or the day before. I used to work on a ranch.
Ranch?
I was a ranch hand. But I would only have to work there during the summers or if I was in trouble. And my mom knew the guy who owned the ranch. And it just came to me yesterday that he was like, I would have to muck the stalls, like of the horse shit and like the horse pee and like pick up like the 130-pound mats that they would poop and pee on and pressure wash it, and then like go in there and like scrub their stalls and stuff. And he told me, it just dawned on me yesterday that he lied to me completely. He was like, yeah, this is the stuff that I do every day. Like, and I would have to like shovel probably like 80 wheelbarrows of hay and take it down a hill and then walk it back up and then like to feed the horses and stuff or whatever.
How old were you?
Like 15 to 18. And he lied to me because that's the stuff that he was definitely putting off.
No.
For like
He probably was
probably
supposed to
months
do that
at a
every day.
time. No, like these were things like I had to build a chicken wire fence. Yeah, I had to like dig a hole for the peg to go into, and then run the chicken wire and cut my hands up. Like I had these terrible leather gloves that didn't do shit for me.
He's just having you do all the things he's
Oh,
supposed to
dude,
be
I
doing.
did everything. And I had to like feed his goats. I had to feed his pigs, and like that was easy. But and he had this weird thing where I wouldn't bring my lunch. He would make lunch for me, right? And he would always make me like sarsaparilla sandwiches or
Ew.
like something stupid and like
What kind
like
of goat
literally
cheese do you want?
like a buttermilk bread with like a piece of bologna on it, and then be like, here you go, buddy. And like
better
here's
get
like
back
a
to work,
yoo-hoo. Like
Yeah.
a yoo-hoo too. And that just sucked really, really bad. And he lived alone. Like I think his wife left him or something like that, or it was terrible. Yeah, my mom sent me up there, and because it was punishment, but he would be like, well, you're still getting paid. But like he would give me a lot of good advice, of
Yeah.
course. And
What's the best advice you learned from that guy?
the best advice was,
Make sure you always wrap the coil the right way with a chicken fence. And I
the
never
best
forgot
advice
that.
was probably be 100% about who you marry.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was like a bitter old guy.
I guess, yeah.
And he at the end of every day he would give me a crisp $20 bill, and I'd be working for like 10 hours.
That's all you got?
Oh yeah, I
That's
got paid $20
terrible.
a day.
Your mom sent you up there?
Yep, builds
The
character.
ranch?
Builds character. The ranch.
Do you think you built strong?
It made me 10 times more disrespectful. I hated
Now
authority.
you just think
I
everything.
still hate authority.
Yeah,
I hate
that's true.
every. Yeah, no, and now I look at all physical labor as that,
Yeah,
and I'm like, nope. I'm like, I don't have to do it, right?
yeah.
Okay, huh?
That's what. Because with moving, you're like, nope.
Oh,
I'm
people
paying
ask me
somebody.
to move all the time. They're like, "Oh, Gabe, big burly man, you can pick up all my stuff because I'm a petite little woman, right?" And I'm like, even if I had $15 to my name, I would find someone that would move my house for $15. Moving, I don't do moving because it brings out the worst.
It does.
It brings out the worst in women. Like
Everyone, really.
my ex, like whenever we used to move everywhere, it was World War Z.
Dude.
Like it was such a bad attitude the whole time. And I'd be like, you don't have to do anything. Like I'm doing all this back-breaking labor. And then I come home and everything's still in the box. You haven't moved anything out. Like, it was so
dude.
terrible.
'Cause we just moved out, and I can
Can
agree.
you attest?
No, yeah, because we moved out twice in the past.
I'm
2
sure it was
years.
stressful on your mom.
No, yeah, because we're all just like a bunch of ADHD, like brainless zealots, like walking around, and she's like, "We have to do this. We have to do this. We have 2 weeks." We moved a lot of it, and it's like our fault. Like me and my dad, and like because me and my dad have the same ADHD brain,
Yeah.
so we're like putting it off. But we're also like breaking our backs, like as well.
Oh, I'm
so It's
sure.
like my mom's doing like all the actual planning.
And it's all
She
so
hates
like,
it. It's like,
it's all like, you're working so hard for her just to be like, good. Or like, thanks. Or like, it's
no,
like,
it's
whatever.
just like, no, it's not even that. It's like, we have to do this now. It's like,
yeah, it's like, next.
oh,
next,
it was
next.
the vibes in the house for like probably like a month was horrendous. Like
Oh, I
I
bet.
didn't want to leave the room because I'm like, I know like there's so much stuff. Like, and I feel bad because like I have like work I need to do, and like I feel bad for doing the work because I could be helping with the house, and it's like vice versa.
Yeah,
If I help with the house, I
and
have
choosing.
work to do. And it's like, but with my mom though, like she'll get like super because the first time we moved, we had like a bunch of junk, like toys that we haven't used in years, and she was like, "All right, I'm just gonna give this stuff all away," and there wasn't a very good checking system during this time because months before this, my girlfriend at the time, she's like, oh, she didn't have any storage because she lived at like a schooling place.
Yeah.
And like she would
Like
have
a
to pay,
dorm system.
she would have to pay like a bunch of money to buy like a storage place.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, can I leave like my winter clothes at your house? Because I don't have enough storage in my closet.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no worries. And they were just in there for probably like 6 months. I didn't necessarily tell my parents it was in there.
Oh.
But like, I mean,
It's like whatever.
I was like,
Storage.
so it was move day, I guess. We weren't there. And we go downstairs one time to like see what's going on. And the whole, like that whole attic room where I put the clothes in was empty.
Ooh.
And then it hit me like while we were down, because my mom was down there like with her friend. And I was like, where is the bin, the clothes? And my mom's like, I just sent it to Goodwill. And
How recent?
what do you mean?
How recent had she sent it? Like, were they gone?
No, it was like a day before that.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked at my girlfriend and she
Was she
like-
there with you?
Yeah, she was right there. And I was just like, and my mom's like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. We can see if we can go. And then I was mad because I was like, because it was very tense because like my parents were like moving and like not, because they had
It was
like
already stress of moving, and then your girlfriend just lost like her entire winter
these-
collection.
she was like master thrifter, and like she had like corduroy like sweater that was like priceless in there, like worth hundreds type of thing,
You're
maybe if not thousands. Like you know, if
Irreplaceable items.
if you're like a thrifter, you know, like you can't replace these things.
Yeah.
And like we tried to like give, it was just like she was crying, I was mad at my mom because like she was like she had lost some of my things because she's like throwing everything out, which like I can't blame her because it's like she's like
Whatever.
trying to get rid of the house ready, and it
Yeah.
was such a
That
it was
sucks,
so
dude.
bad.
And did
It's
you have
like-
to like deal with the repercussions of
Oh,
like
yeah.
not telling your mom that the stuff was down there also, and then also your girlfriend
I got some
losing all the
blame.
girlfriend stuff?
It was like months to like recover from that.
Oh God.
Like it was brought up constantly, and like I was like,
It was like held over your head.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
I don't think it ever like recovered.
Well,
And that's what happens when you move. That's why.
moral of the story, guys,
Don't move.
don't move.
But you
That's so funny.
you've been through so many jobs, and I was wondering like how much of it was like the ADHD in us and how much of it was like just the jobs being terrible. 'Cause I feel like it was kind of both.
That's so true.
Because like our brains are like to the point where once the newness of things like runs out, it's like, all right, why am I even?
It's like I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite job I think I ever had was probably stand up and stretch. My favorite job that I ever had was probably me working at this frozen yogurt store.
Yeah.
It was called Yogli Mogli. And whenever I first got hired on there, it was minimum wage. But like I worked there with some of my friends, and I ended up meeting like one of my best friends there. Whenever I first started working there, I was supposed to be a manager, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like already older. I was like almost 20 whenever I started there. You know, like it's definitely like a burnout kind of like
Yeah.
situation. And my hand was too big to fit into the machine of the yogurt machines,
Yeah.
so that she couldn't put me as manager because I couldn't clean the machines physically. Like I just couldn't do it. So I just ended up being an employee. And I'll never forget, I worked there with one of our run-ins from a kid that me and you went to middle school with.
Okay.
I made fun of him for the hat. He was my
Fedora?
manager.
Yeah.
He was my manager, and he despised me. I had this manager who despised me, and he would pretty much never talk to me unless I did something wrong, and I did a lot of things wrong.
Oh yeah.
Trust me. Like I was breaking codes, like touching the fruits and like all that.
You would
stuff.
like put your hands out and like eat the yogurt, like
Yeah.
just like
And I just so happened to be working with him on the busiest day. It was the most record-breaking sales day in Yogli Mogli history. And it was me and him, right?
just you and him.
Yes.
Oh.
And I remember because he was in the back office the whole time.
It was just you serving.
So here's the setup. So right here is the register situation,
yeah.
right? But the employee had to walk with the customers and fill up the samples for them and give the kids the samples. Like I'd be like, what do you want? What do you
Usually
want?
they
What do
do
you want? What do you
they do it themselves.
Usually they do it themselves at Minchie's, but this is why
Oh.
I mean,
why
it
the
ended up failing.
inferior
Like that's why
company.
it was inferior. I had to constantly, if I wasn't at the register, I had to be giving out samples, and I was running. I was sweating so hard back and forth, and it was like a cheerleading competition, like a national
God.
cheerleading competition. Came in, and it was like a bunch of little girls, and they were trying everything, and I was like,
And you're just like, yeah.
and I was running around trying, and then I yelled in the back. I was like, dude, can you help me out? And he said, tough. And
said tough?
He said tough.
No.
And walked back into the office.
Dang.
And I got so angry. I called my boss. And
You told?
yeah, I told on him.
What happened?
Absolutely nothing. Because she was lit because we made all this bread.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, nothing should change then. You made all this money. Did you quit after that?
I ended up quitting. Yeah, I ended up quitting. And I don't think it was right after that, but shortly after that. I've never had a job. I've never had a job for my longest. Okay, so my longest job was what, like 2 years? Maybe?
Yeah.
And then every other job besides that, the longest was 3 months by far. 3 months by far.
It's the 3-month rule.
Yeah, it's the 3-month rule. It's like it's very apparent in my life. But yeah, that's just some of my unfortunate jobs that I went through. And then I was never born. One thing about me, I was never born to work. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I was always born to make something funny or to add my 2 cents. And like, that's the only
Just
thing
to
I
riff.
ever enjoyed doing. So, and that wasn't, I mean, I guess it always kind of was a job, but like not in a traditional one by any sense. So I'm glad that this is a world that I can exist in.
And I can just do whatever I please, and people pay me to do stuff.
People sometimes pay me to do things
Yeah.
and say things. So that works out for me. But
I feel like this is the ideal situation for a crazed mind. It's just to
you get a microphone.
give him the microphone.
Give him the microphone and the camera. See how it works out. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I always knew that I was going to have to do something like this because I'm so ADHD and I hate everything. Because whenever you were a kid, like, and you had to pick like what career path you were going to go to in high school, you know what I'm talking about? I was like, I never could do it. And you had to pick something, right? Like at my school, you had to pick something. So
Right.
because it like revolved around your classes. And I was like refusing to pick it. And they had to sit me down with the principal and the guidance counselor and be like, look, like you have to pick something or else.
That's insane to like expect.
And I picked,
Kid.
it was between wood shop, like the workshop class out there
Yeah.
and like building tools and shit, or basically like the computer and like marketing, or like not marketing, but like almost media marketing
Yeah.
route, where they just put me in a bunch of computer classes. That's what I did. And I got on cool math games every
time.
day. But I had this one thing where I would like, I was trolling so hard that I would like print out like my teacher's like wedding pictures or something on the computer.
Yeah.
And he was in control of the printer. So I was like, something randomly would get printed by like a student, and he couldn't tell who printed it.
Yeah.
So I would like print like auspicious photos of him, and like he would like pick it up and be like, and he'd crumble it up and be like, "Who?"
It's like his
keeps
ex-wife.
doing it? Who keeps? Yeah. No, it was. He was divorced.
Oh.
He was like, "Who keeps doing this?"
You're like, imagine being divorced.
I would just be like crying, like, "Who did it?"
I got detention one time because I would always just like unplug people's. I would like stretch because like you know how the computers are like right behind us.
Mm-hmm.
I would like stretch and then unplug some shit like in their thing. So they couldn't type, and they were always like, my thing's not working. My thing's not working.
Keyboard's down.
And then the teacher would come and like plug it back in. Then I would just crack my back and unplug it.
That's going with me.
It would always be like the kid that like gets way too worked up about things and like almost cries over.
Of course.
It's like because we're like trying to work on projects and he's like falling behind, and I'm just like,
Oh, I'm just gonna yank this.
I don't know what this does, but I'm just gonna pull that out of there.
Oh, that's funny.
Well,
That's pretty good.
yeah. So unfortunately, we didn't get.
Yeah, we didn't
pranks.
get the outcome we wanted, but maybe next week I'll come back and I'll tell you the
Someone's gonna get
backlash that I
pranked.
get. Yeah.
So yeah, the moral of the story is you don't need to move out of your house. You know, Gabe it was Gabe all along. For whatever you thought it was Gabe.
It was always me.
So just know that in the future. So this is episode 17 of the Epic Show podcast. New episodes every
guys.
Monday. We love you guys. We love our
our
farts.
fans. We love our fans.
Love
If
the
you ever
farts.
see me or David in real life, come up to us.
Please.
Let us kiss
You
your
can-
girlfriends.
That's a mandatory. It was in the syllabus.
In the contract.
first episode,
for
so you
watching,
have to
so.
do that.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for watching.
Till next time,
See you next week.
stay epic.